Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating idea. What if we've been looking at honesty all wrong? What if its real purpose isn't about being a good person, but a strategy to make your own life way simpler and, frankly, happier? Think about it. We usually connect honesty with being morally good, right? It's a huge compliment. When we say someone is honest, we're basically saying they're kind, they're virtuous, they're someone we can trust. We see it as something they do for other people. Okay, but here's where the idea we're exploring today gets really interesting, because it just flips that whole concept on its head. It suggests a completely different and maybe a lot more practical reason for telling the truth. So here's the core idea. You're not honest to be good for everyone else. You're honest to be happy yourself. Honesty basically becomes this tool you can use to cut down on all the mental energy we waste on pointless drama and arguments. Let's break down how that actually works. To really see why this strategy is so powerful, first we've got to look at the communication minefield that, let's face it, we all have to walk through every single day. Most of our conflicts, they don't just pop up out of nowhere. They almost always come from just a handful of very predictable screw-ups. So communication usually breaks down in one of four ways. But here's the absolute game-changing insight. Only two of them are actually your fault. You are in complete control of whether or not you lie, and you're in control of how clearly you get your point across. The other two things, whether someone else understands it or if they decide to twist your words, well, that's on them. That's their responsibility, not yours. And this chart right here is the whole concept in a nutshell. Half of all communication problems, they're on you, but the other half are not. And the second you decide to only focus on your 50%, you free yourself from that exhausting, impossible job of trying to control what goes on in someone else's head. This realization, it leads to a really simple but incredibly powerful strategy. Just stop wasting your energy on the problems you can't control and instead focus like a laser on the two that you can. And the whole strategy boils down to just two simple principles. Number one, don't lie. Plain and simple. Don't invent a problem out of thin air. And number two, be extremely clear. Don't leave any room for somebody to accidentally misunderstand you. If you can nail these two things, you've done your part. Period. Now this is where the magic happens, because it creates this perfect boundary of responsibility. As the speaker, your job is simple. Deliver the truth clearly, and then just confirm it was received. You get that, yeah, I get it, and your job is officially done. If they come back later and say they misunderstood, that problem isn't yours anymore. But here's the cool part. It works both ways. As an honest listener, your job is to confirm what you heard by saying, okay, so just to be clear, what you're saying is X. Is that right? You put the responsibility for any lack of clarity right back on the speaker. It's just a totally clean system for figuring out where things went wrong. So when you start doing this, it starts feeling like more than just a communication tactic. It really starts to grow into a whole philosophy for how you live your life, one that's way less about abstract morals and way more about practical, day-to-day happiness. At its heart, this isn't about trying to be a perfect person. It's about being ruthlessly efficient with your mental and emotional energy. When you don't lie, you don't have that background stress of trying to keep your story straight. When you're super clear, you cut way down on arguments. You're basically, strategically, offloading problems that were never yours to solve in the first place. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Honesty stops being this sacrifice you make for other people, and it becomes a practical tool you use for your own peace of mind. It's a system for a less complicated, less tiring life, which frees you up to put your energy where it actually matters. So when you draw these clear lines of who's responsible for what, you stop carrying the weight of problems that were never even yours to carry. You get your energy back. And that leaves us with one last question to think about for yourself. Where in your life could this kind of practical honesty make things just a little bit less tiring?